Hi everyone! I just got some new oils to test, so I'm really excited. I'm making a small batch of soap today to test out these two new fragrance oils by Indigo Fragrance. Sorry for all the movement. It's Cappuccino Espresso and Death by Chocolate. I'm going to be blending the two and making a exfoliation bar. I'm going to be using kaolin clay in my main batter. I'm also going to be adding some coffee grounds for the exfoliating part and to go along with the theme of the fragrance oil. I believe I'm going to call this, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I'm still playing around with that. I'm sure by the time it's ready to cut, I'll have a name for it, and then that way I can share that with everyone. I already have my oils mixed together and cooling down. This is going to be a moisturizing bar. I used really moisturizing oils. I also have my lye sitting in an ice bath, so that'll cool down. And I put some sugar in there to help for lather. I put 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I have found that it helps harden my bars. It also, I feel, does a better job than the sodium lactate. That's just my opinion. I water discounted it. I usually do it at 38%. This time I did 35%, so I can get a harder bar as well. I'm going to be doing this brownish color, and again adding the coffee grounds to it. So we're just going to go ahead and continue with the process. Now, I did have a viewer say that she would like to see me do the whole soaping process throughout, which I'm going to work on. I'm going to go ahead and try to find a stand so that way I don't have to continually put the camera down and pick it up to show you the step-by-step way that I do my soaping. But for now, we have to just do it the way I can do it for now. So I'm going to go ahead and let this continue with the process. And then when the lye is cooled down and the oils are cooled down to room temperature, we're going to go ahead and mix the two and bring it up to trace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my kaolin clay to the oils prior to adding the lye. And I'll add the coffee grounds when it's at trace. So I'm just going to go ahead, like I said, and put the camera down for now, and I'll bring it back. All right, so while things are cooling down, I'm just going to show you again what I'm doing. Back there are some soap scraps. That's what I'm going to add to the top for a cute little effect. Again, I'm using the full ounce of Cappuccino Espresso and the full ounce of Death by Chocolate from Indigo Fragrance. If you guys have never shopped with Indigo Fragrance, you should go to their website, Indigo Fragrance, INDIGO fragrance.com, and look at the many oils that they have to offer. I have never had a problem with their oils. They really work well. The scents hold up. I'm going to be calling this new batch that I'm making with coffee grounds for exfoliation my two favorite things, because these are my two favorite things, coffee and chocolate. So I thought I would call it that. Again, for these fragrance oils, since I've never used them before, I want to make sure that it doesn't rice my soap, that it doesn't accelerate trace, that it doesn't seize my batch, and that the scents hold up. Now, I'm only making a small batch to test these oils, but I like still my scents to be really strong, so that's why I'm mixing the two, and they smell terrific together. On Indigo Fragrance website, they have a great little idea, which I just discovered by reading their website, is to blend the fragrances, take a Q-tip and dip 1 Q-tip each into each of the oils, and then put them into a Ziploc bag and let it sit for 30 minutes. And then that way you can smell what the blend will smell like when your soap is all done. So I thought that was a really good tip. I tried that and it came out beautifully. So I'm really excited about this. Again, I'm just letting the oils and lye cool down, and I just wanted to share with you what else I'd be doing with this soap. So when I'm ready to mix the two, I'll bring it back and show you that step. All right, so my oils and lye are now cooled down to room temperature. I went ahead and sifted in my kaolin clay. I like using kaolin clay, especially in moisturizing bars that I do exfoliation with, because it gives a nice slip to the soap. Again, I'm adding the coffee grounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick blend the kaolin clay into the oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the lye, bring it up to a light trace, and then I'm going to add my colorant and my scents, and we'll see how all that holds up. Again, I have to shut off the camera because I don't have a tripod yet, but I'm going to look into getting that so it could be just one continuous flowing video. So just bear with me and I'll bring you back. So I brought my soap up to a trace, and I'm going to get ready to add the coffee grounds to the full batter for a nice exfoliation throughout the bar. Again, I'm using 2 new fragrance oils by Indigo Fragrance. One is Cappuccino Espresso. The other is Death by Chocolate. I'll be using the full ounce of each into the batter. I want to make sure that it doesn't discolor my soap, that it doesn't rice my soap, that it doesn't seize the batch, that it doesn't accelerate trace, and that of course the fragrance holds up. So I'm going to go ahead and mix everything in. Then I'm going to split it into 2 separate parts and color one portion brown, the other portion white, and do a drop swirl into the mold. And then I'm going to add the soap shreds that you saw. So just give me a second and I'll show you what that all looks like. All right, I mixed the 2 scents. Again, I used the full ounce of Cappuccino Espresso and the full ounce of Death by Chocolate. And actually, I'm really surprised. I thought since the Death by Chocolate was a bright brickish red that it would actually discolor my batter. So far so good, no discoloration, but of course we'll see what happens through the saponification process. Those little brown speckles are the coffee grounds. Now I'm going to split this batch into 2. It's holding up nicely. It's not seizing the batch. It hasn't riced, and it hasn't accelerated trace. So I'm going to go ahead again and split the batch, color it brown and white, and do a little drop swirl effect. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's in the mold. Right, here is the batter separated. Again, the scents are holding up great. This is not affecting my recipe at all. It has not riced on me. It hasn't accelerated trace, and it has not seized on me. So that's really, really good. Also, the colors are holding up. I added a little TD to this side. It looks like chocolate chip ice cream to me. And I added a brownish mica to this side, and I'm going to do a drop swirl effect, and then I'm going to add the soap shreds on top, and then we'll set it aside for 24 hours and then we'll cut it. But so far everything's holding up beautifully. I'm really, really happy with these scents because I was, like I said, just a little worried about the Death by Chocolate, but it's holding up well. So it just goes to show you that sometimes you can't always just go based upon the colorant of the fragrance oil. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with my soaping, and then I'll bring it back when everything's in the mold so you can see how it looks. Right, I wanted to show you what the drop swirl looked like. What you do is you just pour a layer of whatever color of your choosing that you want on the bottom, and then you just lift your soap a little higher above the mold and just pour it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little design on the top. I'm not going to swirl all the way to the bottom because I'm really anxious to see how it turned out with just the drop swirl, but I will make a little design on top. And then I'm going to spritz it with a little alcohol and throw my soap shreds on top, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll show you what the design looks like prior to me putting the soap shreds on top. All right, so I just went ahead and kind of smoothed out the top, only the top. I did not put my wooden skewer all the way to the bottom because I really want to see how it just comes out with the effect that I tried to do by pouring the soap in just at a higher height than the mold. Now I'm going to add my soap shreds on top, and then we're going to put it aside for 24 hours. And of course, I'll show you what it looks like when it's cut. I'll show you what the soap shreds look like on top as well. Here's my little confetti soap shreds. This is what I love about soaping. Absolutely nothing goes to waste. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let it set up. Sometimes what I've noticed with the sea salt, it actually sets up a lot faster than 24 hours. I usually could cut it between 16 and 18 hours, but I'm going to put it to bed and we'll see, because this was a slow moving soap recipe I saw. So we're just going to go ahead and put it to bed, and when it's ready to cut, I'll bring it back and show you that. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright, so my soap is ready to come out of the mold. I'm going to go ahead and use my brand new soap cutter and slice the bars.
It smells terrific, and as you can see, the white coloring has held up really well, and so has my brown coloring. So the fragrance oils, as of now, still have not morphed my coloring. We shall see over the next couple of days. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down and just slice this real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. All right, here is the finished product. I went ahead and cut some sample bars, and here are 6 full-size bars, and then I used one of the full-size bars and made 4 samples out of it. So the drop swirl I love. It came out so pretty, I think, and the colors, like I said, held up. The scent is fantastic. I know in the beginning of the video I was gonna call it my 2 favorite things, but I think I'm gonna actually call it guilty pleasure for the chocolate and the coffee. So this is the finished product, and those 2 scents together held up beautifully. Thanks for watching, everyone.